of people been asking why I has no pictures or videos with Keith on my page anymore, why I deleted. Well, we are not together. And some of you asking why he still keep on his page. I don't know. I think you should go ask him. We are not together. We don't work together, and I was keeping on my heart. But we are two different. We have different goals in life. We have different desires for the future, and we just don't fit together. So I don't know why he keep the things on his page. Please go ask him. Don't. Hi guys. Please. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. We are not together. He have his life. He moved on. I'm moving on. So doesn't work. Okay. It was nice. It was amazing. We was happy, but had a lot of problems there. Had a lot of drama. Had a lot of lies, and it's just we decided to be away and move on, and this is. And I can ask all these questions on my DM. I can, because it's just and have some stupid questions like I did nothing wrong. I just think we are. Please go ask him. I want something for life, and he just doesn't want. It's just two different lifestyles, and all I can do is wish him the best. I hope he find peace, love, and everything that he always desired. We are not together, so please. I don't know why he keep. I hope the question was answered. I hope you guys understood. The ones that was making questions and asking me why. Okay, we did not work together. It's not meant to be together. He has his lifestyle. He won't change, and in different levels, me and him work together. Is not meant to be together. He has his lifestyle. He won't change, and I have my goals, my life, my desires. I know what I want on my life. I know where I want to be, and he's a nice guy. Yes, everyone has problems, so I think just did not work. Okay, is it good? Okay, we did not work together. Everything. I cannot talk for him. I cannot answer for him. I can do for myself, and this is. I hope you guys understood everything. I cannot talk for him. I cannot answer for him. I can do for myself, and this is. I hope you guys understood everything. I cannot talk for him. I cannot answer for him. I can do for myself, and this is. I hope you guys understood everything. I cannot for him. I cannot answer for him. I can do for myself, and this is. I hope you guys understood everything. I cannot talk for him. I cannot answer for him.
Okay, that video in the beginning was a girl who dated adult or porn star Nat Turner. If you don't know who Nat Turner is, look him up. He's a porn star. Now, there's a reason why I showed that video in the beginning and the pictures and stuff like that is because I think men are doing it the wrong way. I think men shouldn't be going to the PUAs and dating coaches and all these other people and on YouTube. They shouldn't be looking for some of these guys on YouTube, man. They should be going to porn stars and ask them for dating advice, because these guys show the opposite side of when you get a lot of women. What is on the other side after you become the most desired person in the section of women? If you're sexually desired by women, what does that look like on the other side? And this whole video purpose is showing you that the male porn stars who have what every female want, a lot of them show you a real dark side of the opposite side of getting the women. Yeah, it's their job, but outside of the porn star, outside of the scenes, sex scenes and stuff, it's a darker situation. And I'm gonna show you instances where it proves to you that. Okay, one story right here. All right. So it was a porn star chick, who accused another star of abuse. And she did it on a porn set. If you don't know who Rico Strong is, as I said before, look him up as well. He was living a good life. Well, not good life, but he had, tons and tons. He had sex with, I could just say, about at least 1,600, 2,000 women. At least 2,000, 3,000 women overall in his whole entire life, man. A lot of us grew up on watching this dude. And he got Me Too'd. So it's kind of funny that people don't talk about these kind of things that happen to guys who think that they're on top of the world, that they can control every woman, and they can actually like manipulate the dating world or whatever, and they're sexual gods and they can do anything they want. The story right here shows you that pretty much they can get Me too. They just need the right female to get in there, And the context behind that was basically she didn't want her girlfriend to know that she enjoyed the scene with Rico Strong. So Rico Strong was the right guy in the wrong place at the time, where this dysfunctional female, who is a porn star herself, has mental issues. But she decided one day to push allegations onto Rico Strong and pretty much ruin his life, giving him blacklists, and half of his porn friends turned against him for these allegations. So that tells you straight away, even if you are a handsome guy or liked by many women, you don't get the necessary support that you need when you're in the dark. Women only use you, in this instance, when you have the big package they want to sexually satisfy themselves. But when that same man need help, he didn't get a lot of help at all. I think he was asking for money online and he only got a little bit money, but everybody wanted to. He's seen the real side of women, because I'm going to show you his Instagram posts and see how depressed he is based off his perception of what he thought where he was at with women. He thought that women will always be there for him because women desire him more. But he didn't understand that all they wanted to do was have sex with him. And they wanted to do it for free. See, there are women that might pay for him, but he's a pay for play dude. So he's probably is doing that on the side. But he's not doing that a lot because you got a lot of arrogant females, entitled females that think that any guy who is attractive should sleep with them, and it should be a privilege to sleep with them. But he turns it around because he was a porn star, and his size is pretty much gold to women, so he makes women pay for it. But he sees now that don't work, and he should have basically used his mind instead of his body. He's kind of the opposite side of what women find out when they're shown that they need more than their body. And him going around being depressed, but I'll show you that later on. So we got one instance with this guy right here. That's the backstory of this right here. And if you want to see some of these articles or whatever, just ask me in the comments, and I will give you a link to the article because it's too many to follow. So I'm gonna show you this right here. Okay, now I'm gonna show you Lexington Steele. Right now, he's a 50-year-old man still in porn. See, people gave him credit for being, business savvy, having his own porn business. Well, his porn business went under. He doesn't have it anymore. And even if he do have it, he's not as popular as he used to be because, well, Lexington Steele, he's famous for his package, but his old age and the simple fact that he can't maintain firmness with women, and he blacklists himself by doing stuff like this. Him complaining about being in porn. So black porn stars have a habit of crying racism when they want their way. And sometimes overall when they are not getting their way, they scream racism. But now in this new time, there's porn series that are created for racist means, like black, or the experience with a white woman and a black guy, or Latino with a black guy. They're putting that stereotype agenda, but they use newer generation of men to promote that. They don't need the old guys anymore. And if they do use the old guys gotta play ball. So these white boys and any kind of person who owns a company who's not even as big as they are control their size, control their dicks. And they have to respect and keep their position in the porn industry. And if they say anything wrong, no matter how big their penis is, they can get kicked out and replaced with another guy because there's no limited supply of guys who brag about how big they are, right? So Lexington still try to pull the racist card And guess what? He got blacklisted by most of the big name companies who will pay him a lot of money. So he had to be into under the card on in the porn industry. So he's not getting paid that much. So he can't keep his business. So he's a legend who fell. Okay, here we go, another porn star, right? He beat the crap out of women. This is a guy who has the size that women want, but obviously he must have some deep issues with women, even though he gets all the women he wants because he's big. But there's an incident that he beat the crap out of another porn star who was his girlfriend at the time, and he's on crack. So his name is Chris Strokes. Beat the shit out of porn star Hailey Reid. So this is the high pinnacle of the most successful guys in America. I don't think a lot of men can beat getting pussy like a porn star, or be around sex more than porn stars. And a lot of people should take heed and look into the porn world more often and see how these guys act outside of the porn industry, and see how they act with women outside of the dating range. They beat on women. They are on drugs all the time. They have very low self-esteem. For men who they're for men who all men envy. They seem to be alone. And that shows you that the grass is not greener on the other side. So these are the guys who women really want, and sleep with a lot of women. They get whatever they want from women. But the opposite side is that they have to get the high. This is why they get on drugs. The high from women isn't there anymore because women give them what they want. Women give them everything they want: the attention, money, and sex, and the aberrations of looking up to them. But they have to keep up in the ante. So what they do is get mad because the fact is that women only want them for one thing, and when they realize women only want them for one thing, is their penis size, they get angry. So they start beating on a woman that's close to them. And they start getting angry at themselves. And they start wanting to get high from that because the world told them that they were the best men. So they have to maintain that status mentally and physically. And sometimes they can't maintain that status. Here we go, another one. Someone who cried about the racist shit because of his position in porn. You starting to see a pattern? These guys are nothing but, human dildos for some women. If you envy these guys, like I said, I give you a description. I give you the links to all these stories. If you envy these guys, look into these guys' lives. Look on the threads. Or ask me, because I do a lot of research on this kind of stuff on here. These guys are miserable as hell. They are miserable as hell. They cry just like the women do. And most of them were raised by single moms. They were born being told that they were the highest pinnacle of man because they were born with a big penis. But then they found out that they're not the highest pinnacle of man, and they're being used by men who want to promote an agenda, and they're used by women who want to get off on them. And they figure out that nobody wants them, so they have to use whatever they have to use to keep themselves in a high self-esteem mindset. And it doesn't work out, like this guy. So There's 10 times more. There's the same porn star chick who called out, who got beat up by Chris Strokes, now has beef with Nat Turner. James Holmes. Yeah, I might make a part 2 of this. But let me because this is going off the line. So I'm making part 2 of this. So it seemed like Nat Turner has a lifestyle that he can't maintain. Oh yeah, by the way, if you look up his name, if you look up Nat Turner, somebody who I spoke about in the beginning of this video, he's like 50 years old. I think 59, 40, 48, 49. He's almost 50, I think. I gotta check. So he borrows money from a porn chick, the same one who got beat up by another male porn star, but that guy was white. And he pretty much stole her money from her. And this tells me right away that they're irresponsible. They kind of have the mentality of women who are born with looks, and they think they can use their looks to their advantage. So they deprive themselves of any kind of responsibility. And it seems like this is what Nat Turner did to this chick. And he don't know how to spend money well. Remember, he give you some content on him. His background is the fact is he used to be the right-hand man of Justin Slayer, another porn star who quit and closed down all of his porn productions. And that left Nat Turner alone in the world of porn, because Nat Turner attached himself to Justin Slayer and his crew, and Justin Slayer was putting money in Nat Turner's pocket. Nat Turner himself was a good porn star, but he wasn't like Justin Slayer. Justin Slayer was the main dude pulling in the money and making the scenes come alive. Nat Turner has some good scenes too, but most of the time he pretty much piggybacked off of Justin Slayer. They were cool, but Justin Slayer, I had a conversation with Nat Turner a few years ago and told him that there was some articles that said Justin Slayer was going to quit porn, and he said he ain't gonna do it on my watch or something like that. I can't go back on my timeline, but it was on Twitter a couple years ago, and it turned out to be right. Justin Slayer was tired of the porn game. He probably seen the way it was turning, so he went out and closed down all his doors. So that left Nat Turner, a typical black guy who's big and built and can be marketable for an agenda. It left him to work for racist companies. It left him to be working for back and forth and to be hired and play nice. He burned his bridges with a few companies after he called somebody out for bisexual behavior. A porn star called Jax Slayer, and a lot of the certain models put him on the no list. Pretty much they don't want to work with him because he tried to play a bisexual black guy, and people claim that he's bisexual because he has videos online that women talked about and homosexual guys talked about. So he tried to put somebody else out there, and he burned himself. So he's limited out here. So this is what he did to this chick. She pretty much gave him money, and he didn't give it back to her. Like I said, if you want the link to these articles and stuff, then I'll give it to you. Just ask me. Let's see. Now everybody knows who James Holmes is and what he did. But my question is that if this guy was born with the golden penis, why did he turn out the way he did? I mean, everybody knows the legendary thing of John Holmes and his porn star career and whatever, blah, 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 blah. But, if you ask any porn stars today, they don't talk about him. They don't give him any kind of awards. They don't even acknowledge him. And that shows you what I said before. These guys in society overall, mostly women, make these guys to be these gods of sex. But then when these guys, realize that it takes more than a big penis to operate in the real world, they start doing crazy shit. And John Holmes was involved with, it was called, I think, the Wonderland murders or whatever. He was involved with that. And he also got AIDS. Funny to me that these guys are the most irresponsible dudes out here, and they're the ones that be spreading diseases to everybody else. But then the women will try to backtrack and say, okay, I will take a penis deduction from other men because these guys hurt me. But by that time, they're stretched out and they have AIDS or some kind of STDs or something, or some kids. John Holmes is the pinnacle of being showed that you ain't as good as somebody told you. Women were surprised, they were mesmerized, they was taken back, they loved it, but none of them stayed around and paid his bills. None of them gave him money. None of them helped him out when he was sick before he pulled off that robbery. Funny to me that this guy got off on the fact that, he was bigger than everybody else and women would be surprised and awe and he can make women moan and groan. But after the sex was done, he couldn't do anything outside of that. And he led a dark, tragic life. Last thing in the video. So this porn star used to be Star in Black, and he assaulted a chick in the elevator. He assaulted a chick in the elevator. This guy who's packing assaulted a chick in the elevator. These guys, as I said, have low self-esteem. They think that every girl wants them. They're told by the world that everyone wants them. This is the real side. This is the real men who get all the women. This is the dark side of the true sexual kings. It's very dark. These guys make mistakes. They end up in jail. They end up dead. They end up doing idiotic things. They beat women. They do all this stuff. So it comes to yourself is that, you can learn from these guys, or you can become just like these guys and live and get in the scenarios that you can't get out of. If you ask yourself and you look up his name and you're like, wait, he had to assault a chick, sexually assault a chick inside of an elevator. This dude who could have got any girl he want. Hey man, I'm gonna cut this off and I'm gonna make a part 2 of this. So I'll be right back.